They say your wedding day is supposed to be the happiest day of your life. For me, it was the day my world collapsed. When I stood in front of the mirror in my tuxedo, the rings tucked safely in my pocket, rehearsing vows I thought would bind me to the woman I loved forever. I had no idea that just one floor above me, forever, was already being destroyed. This is not a story about a wedding. It's a story about betrayal. And it begins on the morning I should have become a husband. The sun rose early that day, flooding my room with light I didn't need. I'd been awake since before dawn, staring at the ceiling, grinning like a fool. I was about to marry Emily. Emily, the woman who had walked into my life like a storm 3 years ago. With her, everything always felt certain. She was my anchor, my reason, my yes, in a world full of maybes. And today she would become my wife. My best man, Ryan, barged into the room with his usual grin. He tossed me a coffee and clapped my shoulder. "Big day, huh?" he said. "Biggest day," I replied, sipping the coffee to calm my nerves. Ryan had been my best friend since middle school. The kind of guy you trust with your secrets, your life, everything. If I had a brother, it would have been him. That's why I chose him to stand beside me today. He smirked and teased. "Don't lock your knees at the altar, man. You'll pass out. And don't cry too much. I'll never let you live it down." We laughed together. And for a moment, I felt completely safe, completely ready. But life has a way of disguising knives as laughter. By mid-morning, guests had already started arriving. The church buzzed with chatter, flowers lined the pews, and music drifted softly through the hall. Everything was perfect, almost too perfect. But nerves began to claw at me. My chest felt tight, my palms sweaty. I wanted to see Emily, just once before the ceremony. Tradition said no. It was bad luck for the groom to see the bride before the wedding. But I didn't care. I needed to see her. I slipped out of the groom's room and made my way upstairs toward the bridal suite. Each step I took, I pictured her smile, her dress, the way her eyes would light up when she saw me. When I reached the door, I raised my hand to knock. But then I froze. From inside came laughter. A man's laughter. Familiar. My stomach dropped. I pressed my ear against the door, telling myself I was mistaken, that it couldn't be what I thought. That's when I heard Emily's voice. Soft, uneasy. "Ryan, we shouldn't be doing this." And then Ryan's voice, low and eager. "Come on. One last time before you marry him." The air left my lungs. My knees nearly buckled. Then came the sound I will never, ever forget. The sound of betrayal, muffled through the door, but clear enough to rip my soul in half. I stumbled backward down the hallway, my hands shaking so badly I nearly dropped the ring box. My heart pounded against my ribs like it wanted to escape. Couldn't be real. It had to be some twisted nightmare. But Emily gasped Ryan's name, and Ryan groaned hers, and there was no mistaking it. My bride, my best man, together. I don't know how long I stood there. Seconds? Minutes? Time didn't matter anymore. Finally, I forced myself to walk back downstairs, every step heavier than the last. My reflection in the mirror was pale, hollow, almost unrecognizable. I looked like a man heading to his execution. But the ceremony was minutes away, and I had a choice to make. Do I walk away quietly? Do I pretend nothing happened? Or do I burn it all down in front of everyone? I chose the fire. When the music began, everyone stood. The doors opened, and there she was, Emily, radiant in her white dress, smiling like she hadn't just destroyed me an hour earlier. Her father walked her down the aisle, proud, oblivious. My chest tightened as she reached me, as she looked into my eyes with the same softness that once made me believe in forever. And Ryan? He stood beside me, smug and steady, as if daring me to expose him. The pastor began speaking. The words blurred in my ears. Guests smiled, cameras flashed. Then came the vows. I unfolded the paper in my pocket, the words I'd written so carefully. But I didn't read them. Instead, I looked Emily in the eye and spoke the truth. "Emily," I said, my voice shaking but loud enough for all to hear. "When I woke up this morning, I thought this would be the happiest day of my life. I thought I was marrying the woman I could trust with everything. But an hour ago, I found out that wasn't true. A ripple went through the church. Murmurs. Confusion. Emily's smile faltered. Ryan shifted uneasily beside me. I pressed on. Because while I was waiting downstairs, you were upstairs. With him. I pointed at Ryan. My best man. My brother. The two people I trusted most. Betraying me in the cruelest way possible. Gasps. Shouts. The church erupted in chaos. Emily stammered, her face red. No, no, it's not what you think. Don't lie. I snapped, my voice breaking. I heard you. I heard everything. Ryan raised his hands. Man, let's talk about this later, not here. No, I said, glaring at him. You had your chance to talk. You had plenty of nights to talk. But you chose this. The pastor tried to calm the room, but it was already too late. The truth had been unleashed. I turned to the guests, to both our families. There will be no wedding today. There will be no marriage. There will be no forgiveness. And with that, I walked out. The sound of Emily crying followed me out the church doors. Ryan's voice chased me down the steps, calling my name, begging me to wait. But I never looked back. The sky outside was bright, but everything felt dark. For days, my phone blew up with calls, texts, messages from friends, family, even strangers who had witnessed the scene. Everyone wanted to know what had happened. Emily sent me letters, voicemails, pleading for a second chance. She swore it was a mistake, a moment of weakness. She said she loved me, that she was sorry. Ryan, too, reached out. He said it didn't mean anything, that he regretted it, that he didn't want to lose me as a friend. But some things can't be undone. It's been months since that day, but the memory is fresh. The smell of the flowers, the sound of gasps, the look in Emily's eyes when I exposed her. I thought betrayal would come from enemies, from strangers. But the deepest cuts don't come from your enemies. They come from the people you'd take a bullet for. I lost Emily. I lost Ryan. And I lost the life I thought I was walking into. But maybe, in some twisted way, I gained something too. I gained the truth. I gained clarity. And I learned the most painful lesson of all. Forever can die in a single moment. The ring I once carried sits in a drawer, untouched. A reminder, not of love, not of what could have been, but of the day the vows broke before they were even spoken. And every time I look at it, I remember. Sometimes the wedding isn't the beginning of forever. Sometimes it's the end.